As I stirred awake, pain slammed into me like a wrecking ball. For a moment, I was lost in a fog, not recognizing where I was or even who I was. Just this relentless pounding at the back of my skull, mingled with the sharp stench of bleach. Then, a tiny voice broke through. "Good morning, Mama." My eyes snapped open, scanning the room. A beautiful little girl with bright blue eyes and blonde locks gazed at me with anticipation. Confusion etched across my face, and she exclaimed, "It's me, Mommy." "It's Aria." Shocked, I struggled to sit up against the throbbing headache, but something yanked my leg down, the sound of metal clashing against metal filling the air. Glancing down, I spotted a cuff around my ankle, chaining me to the bed frame. Panic surged as I took in my surroundings, realizing I didn't recognize the room. My heart raced even faster when I caught sight of my reflection, a stranger's blonde locks framing my face instead of my usual brown. Then it clicked. Aria wasn't a stranger. She was my friend's daughter. Before I could gather my thoughts, she spoke up again. "Wow, that's intense. Do you think I just had a nightmare?" My mind spun as she continued, urging me to like and subscribe to her channel. Wait, what was happening? "Where's Joza?" I yelled, my voice laced with panic. Aria's reply was cheerful. "Dad's just fixing something." Her small hand gestured to the wall behind me, and I followed her gaze. There, plastered all over, were photos Joja had taken of me, but with a twist. Aria had cut out blonde hairstyles and pasted them over my brown locks. To my bewilderment, there were also pictures of Aria alongside mine, labeled "My Mom and Me." Amidst it all was a larger photo of Joza and me, his goofy grin beaming at the camera. Scrawled across the top were the words, "I love my family." Goosebumps prickled on my skin, a cold shiver creeping down my spine. None of this added up. What twisted game was being played here? Fighting back the panic bubbling in my chest, I thought of Isaac, my little boy, safe with my mother last night. I had to break free, had to get back to him, but these chains held me tight, trapping me like a caged animal. "Do you know how to unlock this?" I asked Aria, nodding towards the shackle on my foot. "And who dyed my hair?" But Aria seemed unfazed, preoccupied with her toys scattered across the bed. "Let's play," she exclaimed eagerly. I tried to focus despite the pounding headache as Aria continued her game. Rubbing my temples, I strained to piece together how I ended up here. I recalled meeting Aria for the first time last night at dinner, the warmth of the evening, Joja's pride evident as I praised his daughter's wit beyond her years. Aria's goodnight kiss lingered in my memory as I struggled to make sense of the situation. "Last night, you asked if you could watch TV and write in your journal before bed," I muttered, hoping to jog my memory. Aria beamed back at me, confirming my words. "Yes, I write in my journal every day." I recounted my movements from the kitchen to the living room, Joja's laughter, then a sudden thud echoing through the house. But beyond that, darkness clouded my mind. Aria giggled beside me. "Did you have a bad dream, Mom?" she asked innocently. Reality seemed to blur with dreamland, but the cold metal against my skin snapped me back. This was no dream. I was trapped, and it was all too real. "Aria," I spoke, mustering all the calm I could. "Where's your dad? Can you find him?" But she shook her head, a hint of irritation in her voice. "I don't think Daddy will be joining us today," she replied, her big blue eyes pleading for playtime. I realized I wouldn't get answers until Joja showed up. In the meantime, Aria entertained herself with the makeup she found in my bag. "Do you think I'm pretty, Mom?" she asked innocently, tugging at my heartstrings. Poor kid, oblivious to her father's madness. My mind wandered back to the previous night, a sudden blow to my head, a thud from the kitchen. But if Joja was in the kitchen, how'd he get to the living room so fast? Eventually, Aria's hunger pangs broke the silence. She asked if I could rustle up a snack. Daddy showed me how to undo it from the bed, she explained, pointing to the cuff. With a wiggle and twist, she freed the chain from beneath the bed, revealing it now attached to a hefty metal ball. Anger flared within me. What twisted father teaches his daughter to handle a ball and chain? But beneath the anger, fear gnawed at me. What else was Josette capable of? I managed to drag the ball to the kitchen to fix Aria a snack, then asked her again if she could detach it completely. "I need to go home. My son's waiting," I pleaded. But Aria's tearful plea to stay fell on deaf ears. I was too consumed by my own fear. I dragged the ball to the front door, only to find it locked from the outside. I tried the windows, desperate for an escape, but they too were locked tight. Frustration boiled over, leading me to pound on the glass, even attempting to shatter it, to no avail. My phone was missing, and there was no other means of communication in sight. Yelling at the passers-by outside proved futile. No one spared a glance my way. A chilling realization washed over me. Trapped with no way out, no one to call for help. Tears welled up as despair settled in. Aria's embrace offered a small comfort, but it couldn't erase the feeling of hopelessness. Joja was nowhere to be seen that day, yet the incessant banging from the attic served as a haunting reminder of his presence. The next morning, Joja and Aria entered the room with breakfast. "Can I share your breakfast, Mom?" Aria chirped, hopping onto the bed. I shot Joja a fierce glare demanding release, but he remained silent. Grabbing his hand, I erupted in anger, demanding answers. "What sick joke is this?" I screamed, but Aria's plea for peace pierced the air as she covered her ears, tears streaming down her cheeks. Joja's eyes met mine, devoid of life, filled only with a haunting sadness. "This is for the best," he muttered before departing, leaving behind a bewildered Aria. Chained to that bed for days on end, Aria became my sole companion, her yearning for maternal affection tugging at my heartstrings. She shared her creations with eager anticipation, her innocence a stark contrast to Joja's cruelty. Locked away, my resentment toward Joja only grew. Now, fear gripped me in Joja's presence. The man I thought I knew, the one I believed I was falling for, seemed like a stranger, sullen, withdrawn, avoiding even the briefest glance in my direction. Days dragged on, each one a battle against tears and panic as thoughts of Isaac consumed me. I had to find a way out, had to reach my son. So I devised a plan. Recognizing my physical limitations against Joja, I wagered that my continued captivity was rooted in his fear of my escape. I needed to show him I wasn't going anywhere. Embracing Aria's affection, I bided my time, waiting for the opportune moment. I engaged with her, eliciting laughter and joy, spending hours in the kitchen crafting treats and playing the role of the perfect mother. I even scolded her for indulging in mature reality TV shows. Gradually, my efforts bore fruit. Aria grew frustrated with the cumbersome ball and chain, pleading with her father to remove it, a request he eventually granted. As days passed, Aria became my constant companion, her innocence and love a source of solace in our confined world. Unable to leave the house or attend school, she longed for a taste of normalcy. One night, she approached me, eager to share about her favorite reality show and a nearby restaurant featured on it. Her plea to Joja was tinged with newfound hope, citing my affection as proof of my transformation. With a gentle stroke of her hair, I reassured her, and Joja, relenting, permitted our outing. "Behave, Savannah," he warned as we stepped out the door, a small concession amidst the shadows of captivity. "Remember, no funny business," Joja warned sternly, his words a reminder of the precariousness of our situation. Nodding silently, I stepped into the world beyond our confines for the first time in what felt like an eternity. As we drove to the restaurant, Aria's excitement bubbled over, her joyful chatter a stark contrast to the heaviness in my heart. Snuggled close to me, she declared us the best family in the world, a sentiment that twisted my insides with guilt. When the time came to settle the bill, I seized the opportunity, excusing myself to the restroom. "Come with me, Aria," I urged, needing her presence to maintain the facade of normalcy. In the stall, I wrestled with conflicting emotions. As much as I wanted to protect Aria, my priority was escaping Joja's clutches. Hastily, I scribbled a plea for help with my lipstick, relying on the license plate of Joja's car as my only means of identification. Returning to the car, our relief turned to panic as screams erupted from the restaurant. Waitstaff rushed to our aid, having spotted my desperate message. Salvation arrived with the police, who swiftly apprehended Joja before my eyes. Finally, justice was served, his arrest a taste of the imprisonment he inflicted upon me. Aria's tearful pleas pierced the air, her cries for her father tearing at my heart. Clutching her tightly, I attempted to offer comfort amidst the chaos, But as the authorities intervened, she too was taken away, leaving me with a hollow ache in arms longing for the embrace of my son. Upon returning home, life gradually regained its familiar rhythm, though encounters with law enforcement persisted. Recounting the night of my ordeal, I detailed how Joja likely slipped into the living room once Arya had left, a conclusion the authorities deemed an open and shut case of a man consumed by the quest for a mother figure for his daughter. Striving to bury the harrowing memories, my focus shifted to rekindling lost moments with Isaac. I held him close, vowing to shield him from harm at all costs. Yet, beneath the facade of normalcy, a nagging unease lingered. Despite my disdain and fear of Joja, a gnawing sensation persisted, a sense that a pivotal aspect remained unresolved. Guilt gnawed at me, especially concerning Arya. A final visit to her was necessary, a chance to bid farewell. Her tearful plea pierced my heart, a desperate yearning for maternal solace. "I'm sorry, baby," I murmured, my own sorrow mirrored in her eyes. The weight of leaving her behind weighed heavily on me. As I broached the topic of retrieving Arya, her demeanor shifted abruptly. Gone was the innocence, replaced by a feral anger. Her accusations cut deep, each word a barb of betrayal. Desperation gripped her, manifesting in a torrent of curses and accusations. Bewildered, I bent to retrieve her diary, only to be met with a revelation. Scrawled within its pages were drawings, disturbing images that hinted at a darkness far beyond her tender years. It dawned on me that her exposure to mature content wasn't solely from television. Arya's reality was a twisted amalgamation of innocence and corruption, a testament to the depths of the horrors she endured. Flipping through the diary's pages, I stumbled upon a chilling revelation. Sketches of girls with blonde hair and blue eyes adorned its surface, each accompanied by detailed notes outlining their virtues and flaws. Dates marked the entries, stretching back a decade. My breath caught as I beheld my own likeness meticulously rendered near the final page. "What is this?" I gasped, grappling with the dawning horror. Arya's reaction was swift and hostile. "Give it back," she snarled, her demeanor shifting from innocence to menace. Trembling, I clutched the diary tightly, recognizing it as a crucial piece in unraveling the mystery of my abduction. As pieces of the puzzle fell into place, a chilling realization gripped me. Joja wasn't acting alone. The pieces of the puzzle began to align. "What did you use to hit me over the head?" I inquired, aghast at the unfolding truth. Arya's response sent shivers down my spine. She recounted a macabre sequence of events involving a boomerang and a dart, an unsettling narrative of manipulation and coercion. Her matter-of-fact delivery belied her tender years, leaving me reeling in disbelief. How could a child of 7 wield such control, and for how long had this sinister game been played? "How old are you, Arya?" I managed, my voice trembling despite my efforts to appear composed. Arya's response was chilling. "You're smarter than I thought," she retorted sharply. "I may look like a young girl, but I'm 18. You are a bit younger than that." Her words sent a wave of dread coursing through me. "How?" I whispered, struggling to comprehend the unnerving reality unfolding before me. "I stopped growing old a long time ago," Arya confessed, her tone devoid of remorse. "I'm trapped in this child's body, but I can only do something with someone who looks like an adult, and I want a normal life with an average family." Her words hung heavy in the air, suffused with a sinister intent that sent shivers down my spine. "You can feel sorry for me all you want," she continued, her voice laced with malice. "But I'll find a way to get a real family one day. It doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be any of you." Her proclamation filled me with a deep-seated fear that eclipsed even the horrors of my captivity. "What do you mean, one of you? Who are these women?" I pressed, gesturing towards the portraits in her diary. Arya's transformation was palpable, her once innocent countenance twisted into a mask of malevolence. "These are my other mothers," she declared, a smug smile playing upon her lips. "You think you were the first? The mothers who did not live up to my expectations are all buried in the basement."